Gil. How you doing today?
Hey, Michael, how's everything? Good? Everything
Um,
fine?
Everybody smiling. I don't know. Um, but I did hear you finished some work you've been working on, such as a new book, correct?
Yes, I have. I have spent the last 2 months, 8 hours a day, to write a 340-page book.
Okay, so what's the difference between this book and the other books, and why would anybody want to get into this? Why not just stick with the other books?
Well, they can stick with the other books too. In other words, the Path of Hidden Knowledge is made up of 12 courses, and this is the first one. And before that, I had a volume one, which was really a manual. And I always had the feeling that students were not disciplined enough. So I made this volume one very, very demanding. And it is working.
How do you know it's working?
Oh, how do you know? How do you find out anything? I have students, I work with them.
Oh, so you've actually been using it before you completed
Yeah,
it.
yes,
I
yes.
see.
And also, after I completed it, I get it all finished here. And yeah, I've been using it. And I'm getting the proper cooperation, the proper attention, giving attention. Because people read things.
So are
They
you,
read a
yeah,
book an hour, they don't know what they've read.
so you're saying students are more focused?
Absolutely.
What else are you getting from it?
Well, the same as I usually do, as I always do, which is great pleasure.
No, but I'm saying in contrast to the other writings, what are you seeing come out of this? So you
Well, I
said
see,
more focus.
yeah, I see a new determination in the students the minute they start this book. And I let them know immediately that they have to do exactly as it's there. Like you said earlier, you may disagree, and if you disagree, that's fine. Now, I'm the first one to say, believe no one. Don't believe me. Don't believe anybody. Believe yourself. So if there's something in the book that you don't agree with, you don't agree. But at least give it a try. See if it's true or not. See?
I'm not really feeling a new determination as I begin this. So what would you say to that?
Well, you started off in a bad mood today to begin with. I can tell all these things.
Right. Well, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah. And I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Why do you think? Don't you sense a new determination in doing this thing right?
Do I sense a new determination in doing it? Well, of course, you always want to do things right. Um, I'm not necessarily sure if this is. I don't know. It seems like there. When do you get to a point where you're your own creator and you're not studying things from other people and you're creating and thinking for yourself?
Michael, that never happens. You're always studying with someone. Right now, I'm studying Peter Kelder. Last week, I studied, what's his name? Ledbetter from the Theosophical Society. You're
Oh,
always studying with someone.
okay. So you're always studying, and I kind of feel the same way because I always feel like there's something I want to study. But when you were writing your book, were you studying?
Was I what?
Were you studying somebody when you were in the process of
I,
writing this book?
no, no, no. Morning till night.
So how?
Morning till
Yeah.
night.
So yeah. This is what I'm saying. So if I want to create something, do I stop and work on whatever I'm creating, and
Well,
then
what do
continue? Huh?
you think? If you're working 8 hours a day writing a book, you don't have time to read other people's books. It's as simple as that. You make your own decisions. Man is the measure of all things. And when I say man, I mean woman. Man, woman is the measure of all things. It's what you decide. So if you're working 8 hours a day, obviously you don't have time. The best thing you can do if you're working sitting in front of a computer 8 hours a day is to go out for a walk, which I didn't even do. But now I have a book that I'm proud of, and the students feel that, and they are getting into it with the new determination. And I am going to be a son of a gun.
Okay. So
Very rough checkouts.
how does this book work when you're no longer around, and you go on to another phase of Magno? What did you don't follow what I'm saying?
No.
Let's say you die tomorrow. How would this book continue to serve its purpose if
Well,
you're not there to check it out, or
right, I understand.
yeah.
Several answers. Number one, I'm not going to die tomorrow. I'm going to be around for quite a while. Number two, nobody's going to take care of the book. The book is there. You want it? It's in existence. Get it? Study it. What good is my name after I'm living in a different existence? Now, and fourth or third, probably my daughters will take care of the books for those people who want it, who want to study.
But you're saying they would be really on their own, I guess, as far as being checked out.
If they want to be, but I have other students who are already being coaches. For example, that young man from Cyprus, Claudio Rossides, he already has clients. And I mean,
Right.
I gotta
So
give him a lot.
basically, the people that have studied and completed the work and are
Well,
presently coaching.
he didn't complete the work. He has a long way to go in the whole course.
Hmm.
But once he saw the truths in the beginning of this present volume one, he finally saw it.
What did he see?
It's a whole different thing. He is determined now. There's a system, the right approach, and it's true. It's my system is an a priori. You can't get to 2 and 3 without going through 1. That is the only secret, which is not a secret, but to everybody else is a secret because they don't want to think about it. It's very simple. Life is simple. But because of the lies that we were given, the lies that we ourselves created, we make it very, very difficult for ourselves and others who happen to live with us.
And you're always working on removing these lies.
Always, for the rest of your life. But as you go along, you reach moments, heights that definitely you know that you're not the same person who you were 10 years ago.
And is this what you call transformation?
That's correct. Yep.
So
And
you're saying there's 180 days, and you'll get some kind of transformation within this time.
yeah, this
Well,
book, I wrote it with the intention of producing some kind of a change in a person's life within 180 days.
that could be almost anything, correct?
Well, anything which means a lot to the student,
Right.
if he, I don't know, if he buys a new car, well, that would be an improvement, but that would not have any much to do with his course. But if he finds that he can meet girls easier, or
Something he couldn't do before.
something that makes him happier. Sometimes not even a doing this. Sometimes it's just a feeling of when you're totally alone is a feeling of being peaceful.
Yeah, but aren't there plateaus and uh, ups and downs that sometimes you get to a high point, but then you seem to drop again?
Yeah, all of life is like that. If you're not going up, you're coming down.
Right.
There's no standing still in life. You got to make sure where do you want to go, down or up. Sometimes you can allow yourself to go down a little bit, just for the hell of it.
Yeah, but
And
sometimes you go up, and then all of a sudden, after a while, you seem to be coming down again
you don't
before you
come
go
down.
back up.
The only
Or you're
reason
saying you don't come down as far as you used to come down.
you don't come down unwillingly like you did before. Before it was a problem. Now, a person who has charge of his life comes down, but he knows he's coming down, and he can do something about it or not. He's not worried about it. He knows sooner or later he'll be back higher than he was before. In life, there should be no resistance. Everybody's using some kind of resistance. Resist, resist. There's nothing to resist. But we were told so many things from the age of even Bruce Lipton, that great philosopher. He's a wonderful man. I heard him say it on the tape today, from the age of 6 to the present. I didn't say it in my book just because he did, because I just heard him today. But I have a great deal of respect for him. He said the same thing I said. I said from the age of 7. He said from the age of 6. All lies. One of the biggies is, what will they think? What will they say? What are they going to say? What are they going to think? One of the worst.
Well, what if you've overcome those lies? There's still other ones, or say there's a process that you're not following that's causing you to be stopped in your progress in life.
If I understand you correctly, each time that you discover lies, they become less and less and less.
Correct.
So it's a point where you really honestly think there are no more lies to be discovered. But since I personally like to be, um, what's the word, a little bit more, I don't like to be over enthusiastic about the whole thing. I think about it and I'll say, well, I wonder if there's another lie here. Well, what's the lie here? And sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't.
So
So as you
yeah.
discover lies, there are less and less things that you discover in terms of negativity.
So if you see something that's not working out, right? Are you looking to see what lies might lie there, or is it just you're not following that first step in what it is you need to do?
Well, you can't. That's a complex question because you can't get to step one as long as you have lies. That's the problem. So as you eliminate the lies, you begin to take your feet start being firmly on that first step, and then you go from there to the second one.
Can
And
you, yeah, can you give me an example of someone who's trying to get to step one, but can't get to step one because there's some kind of lie there?
yeah, I could, but I won't.
And that's because you want me to think about what it is. Is that what?
No, in this
Uh,
case, it's not because of that. It's because I don't talk about other people.
no,
But my,
but no, but I'm not asking you to talk about. I'm asking you to create a scenario, make somebody up. An example. It doesn't have to be a real person. You know what I'm saying? Just like give me an example.
phrase the question again.
Can you give me an example of someone? It doesn't have to be real, who cannot get to step one because there's some kind of lie. And so it's causing this individual to not progress as he should or she should, however you want
Well,
to put it.
he should call Gil Magno and sign up for the classes. That's what he's got to do because there's nothing else here. I tell you that. I have the audacity to say that. That handles what we're talking about. Oh, there's psychologists and all of these people that are counselors that help people, but all they do is patch them up and send them back to the madhouse. So, what was the question again? Oh, you
Well,
wanted an example.
yes.
Yeah, he has to do a lot of reading. Should sign up for a class like mine. He has to do, if he doesn't want to do that or he can't do it, then he should read books like How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World by Harry Brown, The Fountain of Youth by Peter Kelda on the physical side, The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol, a couple of the books by Joseph Murphy.
Right. So you're giving me things
Oh,
that a person can do, right?
many things a person can
But
do.
that's not really what I'm asking. I'm asking like oh okay, so you but you're just saying that you would bring them through the process then.
Yeah, because they can't find step one. They're not capable. Because every time they think they are on step one, it's a disaster. They get nowhere. So they have to search and they have to live with themselves and be absolutely implement honesty with self and reality. He's enthusiastic about something, he starts something, it doesn't work out. He should, instead of getting bummed out and going out and have a few beers and forget about it,
Be
no.
persistent about that step and just keep working on it until you've mastered
Yeah,
that first step.
yeah. If you
But
feel that it's
the thing
wrong,
you're saying is that he can't get to that first step until he eliminates these lies.
that's right. And meanwhile, he has to sit down,
Okay.
relax, do not
Okay.
resist anything, and see what the problem is.
So he eliminates these. Okay. So now let's say he's worked with you. He's eliminated the lies. Now he approaches the first step. And for him to be successful, or she to be successful in that first step, they must master it.
Well, you are only going to master it by doing. As soon as he feels he's on the first step, he does a little bit. Turns out right, he does it a little bit more. Each time he does it, he gets better and better. Just like learning an instrument. You're a musician, you should know that. That's it. Or it could be that his problem is that he's got an aberration that is constantly telling him that he's always wrong. There's many of those.
Now,
They will put
would
your
this,
head
yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
parents, by the society, by other people.
So would this be something like some kind of low self-esteem in the area that he's working on? She's
It
working
could,
on?
it could be, not necessarily.
It
It
could
could
be
be.
anything.
Yeah, but those with low self-esteem would suffer more.
Yeah.
Now, all the self-esteem is just doing something. If you do something about anything, you'll get self-esteem. That's all it is. That's what I talk about in the book, the 12 steps to self-love. And the book talks a little bit about all that. The first one is health. The second one is spirituality. The third one is communication. The fourth is personal power. The fifth is, what's the fifth one? Love. It goes down, all down to 10. So if you're doing something in each one of those steps, you will have self-love. Now, anybody that works and that takes care of his own self should have self-esteem. Not everybody. Some people have low self-esteem no matter how much money they have. There are millionaires with very low self-esteem.
So why would a millionaire want to take this course?
Same reason you did or anybody else did. They want to be better. They want to find out what's on the other side of the fence.
And how long would you take this course for? Until you find out what's on the other side of the fence?
Well, the course is 12 volume, made up of 12 small courses. Each one is called a volume, a course volume. So that's how long it would take. Now, I wrote this book with the intention of a one-shot transformation in 180 days. If a person, say just anybody,
Right.
experiences some kind of a change in his life in 180 days, he may or may not continue. Mostly, probably, he won't continue. Those that continue will be learning a little bit more about personal magnetism, about the physical aspect of these things, and then finally in course 9, 10, 11, and 12, all the spirit will go back into spirituality also.
Okay.
But all the answers lie in the spiritual aspect. And if anybody tells you it doesn't, all you got to do is ask them a simple question. Do you make yourself breathe? Do you digest your own food? Do you circulate your own blood? That's all. I mean, I get a big kick out of these scientists. Oh, well, it's action and reaction of the molecules and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Well, who gave the molecules that intelligence to do that? Oh, come on. It's so obvious. We humans are little pygmies living unless we go out of our way to find out who we are. We are nothing. We're little pygmies. But you have to...
But you said we're nothing, but that's only because you don't know who we are?
We are nothing in general. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the wars that you have. You wouldn't have all of this baloney going on in the world. You would have a society that's friendly, healthy. You wouldn't have medical mafias like you have now.
That's because we don't know who we are.
That's right. So, man's first concern And actually, the reason why he's living on this planet is to find out who he is. And if he doesn't do that, he's not good for much. I don't care if he's a millionaire or the biggest actor in the world. He's not good to anybody because there is a purpose to life.
Well, once you find who you are, then what do you do?
You don't find you are. You're all in the process of finding out who you are.
So
You don't
you're saying that it's a
yeah,
lifetime experience of
the
finding
lifetime,
who you are?
except that before you kick off, long before you kick off, you find out pretty much who you are. I wouldn't say 100%, because if you found out 100% who you are, you probably drop dead, because there wouldn't be any more things to learn. This is a school. It's a reform school. That's all it is. Now, I don't know what lies beyond, I'll be honest with you, but I had glimpses which are in the book. And that's enough for me.
So when you say reform school, what do you mean by reform?
What does the word reform mean?
To change form.
That's right. What do they call on earth a reform school? It's where you send bad boys to
Well,
become good
yeah,
boys.
yeah. So but isn't that? But you're not saying you're bad.
Well, who knows?
Because isn't that a lie?
Who knows who you were in a past life?
You're not saying you're bad, or are you?
Makes no difference. I am what I am because I am, and no one shall spurn it. There were times when I thought I was bad. You did too. All of us. Because it was put into your head, you're a bad boy. You do this, you do that. You're not teaching correctly. You're not learning correctly. Didn't they? Don't tell me otherwise, because if you do, I'm going to call you a liar. You've been told, you've been invalidated. 85% of the non-progressives have all been invalidated, and they believed it. And that's the problem. The minute you start taking responsibility for your life and you start learning these things, finding out who you are. I talk a lot about spirituality, but this has nothing to do with religions or spirituality in general. It's spirituality because all the laws of life are spiritual. It's as simple as that.
But aren't some of the things that you do in your book not spiritual? Is more of a physical aspect?
Sure. That's part of it. You have a physical body and you are a being. You're a beingness. But you have a physical body, so you need to do certain things to keep that body in good order. And when you do that, the body becomes your friend. It doesn't get sick anymore. I've never been sick in my life until 2 years ago when I went to the hospital and it filled me up with drugs for a stupid little foot surgery that only cost $430. And they charged the government $250,000. Don't tell me this is not medical mafia. This is not right. And I'm going to tell you something else. You know who Ty Bollinger is? Of YouTube fame. He did all those episodes on cancer and all those diseases and everything. I really highly recommend his work because he's interviewed over 50 doctors. We're talking only about the physical part now. And these doctors will all tell you that it's very easy to keep a body healthy. I know that for a fact, except when you fill it with man-made drugs. One doctor, forgot his name, said, the answer is, take everything that God made, don't even touch with man-made, in terms of food and medicine. But see, people don't know what God is. They have the wrong ideas about that word. There are millions of definitions. That's why I don't use that word. And sometimes you have to.
So, what would you like to say in closing about this book? Is there anything you want to say about it?
I, I think that everyone should have this book. Whether they take this course or not, everyone should have it. Because I believe I discovered the reason for man being a slave. And it's in there.
And
Now remember, if you want to do something and you can't do it, it's either because you have a hang up on it or you have hang ups that other people put on you. That's what slavery is. Now, the more you study these ways of freedom, you have more freedom. You can do exactly as you want. And sometimes you have to do a lot of thinking about what you want to do. Sometimes it involves other people. You know, there are different states of consciousness. All I can tell you is you'll know. The spiritual laws are the laws that created the whole physical aspect, the planet, the plants, everything. Make friends of your body, with your body. Very, very important. One of the best things in the world. I do it every morning. All right?
okay.
So that book is available on my website, which is G as in Gil, gmagno.com, G as in Gil, gmagno.com. And they can go in there, and I think it's page number 2. We'll see. It's all about the path anyway. And or they can call me, or they can call me on Skype. I sent out some updates on it, and I'll be sending out even more. So people are buying them. But you can do it on your own also. Some people do it on their own, and they just call me up for either a phone or Skype session just to check out just to check them out, to make sure everything's okay. And I can tell if they're accomplished what they're supposed to do. Believe me. And they get angry. And that's part of the lies. Yep. I know that like my own hand. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All righty. Very good.
Okay.
So study. You got a copy of the book, so you're going to go to town on it. You're going to study it. Yes?
Yes.
Very good. You didn't say that very enthusiastically. All right. You study that this week.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.